Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I am your host, the Housecoat Gamer, and today we are taking a look at, frankly, one of the most overrated starships in Star Trek history, the Defiant-Class. Why is it overrated? Well, for one, it was designed by possibly one of the most suicidal men in Star Trek history, Benjamin Lafayette Sisko, who, prior to the Prophets getting his head out of his ass, was more interested in taking out the Borg by ramming them. Let's be honest, the man was more interested in revenge than he was in being civil. At least until the Prophets got his head out of his ass. And the design of the ship shows. It is incredibly overpowered and overgunned, to the point where the structural integrity grid tries to make the ship explode whenever it's set to full power, as the shattered mirror version of the ship, the ISS Defiant, showed very clearly. It took O'Brien... This should show you something. It took O'Brien, a engineer from the Enterprise, to fix this. I guess when you want something done right, you call someone from the USS Enterprise. Kind of fitting. I will admit that the design had needed to mature. It was a prototype, but still, even prototypes don't get mounted with their usual engines. If I was in charge of the program... Yeesh, that was close. I would have fit it with a far weaker warp core first, just for basic testing. While simulations were done on the proper warp core, and as soon as the problem was discovered, well, the overhaul would have taken place much sooner. But Sisko wasn't exactly interested in anything but wanting the Borg to pay for what they did to him. And you thought Picard wanted revenge in First Contact. Oh no! Sisko started it. Still, the design matured and became far, far better, serving valiantly in the Defiant War, especially the prototype, until Sisko got over cocky and bit off a little more than he could chew. Where a Breen Chelgrit destroyer used an energy dissipator to kill his beloved creation. A moment that I actually treasure, because I'm not exactly a fan of a go-kart with a V12 engine mounted to it, which is essentially what the Defiant is. In-game, this vessel acts pretty much just like its movie, film, TV counterpart. Lots of guns, not much else. And there are 4 versions of this ship that you can get from the C-Store. Well, 3 now. The Tier 4 version went all dilithium a while ago. The Tier 5 version, which includes a cloaking device, which when coupled with other consoles later on, can create a battle cloak, quad phaser cannons from the Tier 4 version, which is now dilithium bait, to increase the ship's firepower. In fact, this is the only one with a hidden damage 4 multiplier. And the Tier 6 version, the Valiant, which looks like absolute crap, includes a warhead module that allows you to fire 6 quantum torpedoes at maximum charge. Of course, this isn't any of those. This is the legendary Defiant, arguably my favorite version. Because, well, it actually classifies the ship as what it is. It is a destroyer. The Defiant always was, is, and always shall be a destroyer-class starship. Starfleet should really embrace that classification. In wartime, you don't call a ship an exploration vessel. You don't call the galaxy an explorer, you call it a battleship. You don't call an Excelsior an explorer, you call it a cruiser. Anyway, the legendary version of this ship has two traits. Withering Barrage, which increases the duration of scatter volley by 4 seconds, and Overpowered and Overgunned, which is actually a trait I happen to like, because it increases your DPS, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. Would I recommend you get your hands on this ship? The legendary one, yes. The others, unless you're interested in the fleet versions, which, with the legendary, what's the point? I mean, I don't want to be an ass here, but once you've gotten the legendary, you have access to pilot abilities and a very overpowered set of weapons. It's as maneuverable as the other Defiants, plus the pilot abilities. You don't need any other version of the Defiant. Not only that, the legendary comes with, you might notice this on the bow section, Collective Punishment. This is the nose art version. The normal nose art version has a shark mouth at the end, kind of like a P-40 or a, well, P-40. The Curtiss P-40, the F-4 Phantom, the A-10 Thunderbolt II, otherwise known as the Hog, which is also part of the Canological Development Patch, which has a very angry-looking Defiant with shark eyes, shark mouth screaming, "Assimilate this!" Which I will say fits perfectly for this ship. Well played. Well played. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.